Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today we're talking student housing with Brent Little. He's president of Fountain Residential. And so, Brent, where are opportunities for our listeners and viewers related to student housing today?
Well, we talked a lot about walk to campus and fall out of bed to campus locations, but there's a lot of opportunity out there, even with we big developers and the REITs and everyone else building, 500 to 1,000 bed complexes right next to campus. Real estate is still very, very local. And so if you're in a market that has a major university or a technical school or anything like that, there's lots of opportunities. It's hard for us to come into a market and we can find big parcels and throw money at it to assemble some things. But the local guys still do a lot of the student housing business in a marketplace, and they're able to go in and be patient. They know the people with the land there, and they can assemble an acre or two or start assembling houses until they get enough property, just buying them one at a time and leasing them out to kids in the meantime. And then once they aggregate enough land, they can tear that down and build 30 units or 60 units or 80 units. You can wade into the product instead of just going big and having to do a big institutional development. And all of those, and being able to do those smaller projects close to campus, you may be able to do that on a small or scattered site basis. You'll see people that have 6 little properties around a campus and they're all managed from one location and leased from one location. And that's a very viable way to do it.
How much of the student housing stock out there is owned by the smaller mom and pop owners?
I think still a majority of it is owned by the mom and pop or the locals. The big REITs may have several 100,000 beds. The larger property management companies may have 60 or 80,000 beds. But like I said, you've got 20 million or more kids out there going to school. So that's owned or managed by the professionals is still a very, very small percentage.
Well, what would be an operational tip that you could share with somebody that maybe is going to wade in that way and start with something smaller near a campus? I mean, it seems like a little bit more complexity to lease and manage something where you're dealing with students.
I think the tip that I would give for those that haven't done it before is not to let it become Animal House. That's a surefire way to diminish your value consistently. When we see the people that are taking a property and putting the keg by the pool and it becomes the party zone, what you'll see is over time, believe it or not, these kids, it's a small percentage that want to do that, and the rest of the kids need to get a degree and get out and find a job. And so you'll keep the partiers, and then the other 30 or 60 or 80% of your residents will go away and find a place where they can live.
And how do you keep it from becoming Animal House?
Well, good professional management. We've got a lot of good third-party managers out there. If you're looking for someone to manage your property, there's a lot of good third-party managers. And if you're managing it yourself, which is a viable way of doing it, just enforce the laws, enforce the codes, and if they have a party, give them a warning, and 3 times and you're out. They have to move somewhere else. So just enforce the regulations.
3 strikes and you're out.
There you go.
What about leasing and if somebody has a small property near campus, how might they attract tenants?
There's a lot of good platforms out there, whether you want to go big with apartments.com and for rent and all of those places, but having a good website and making sure that it works on mobile devices and making sure that online leasing is important, because a lot of times kids are leasing and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and they don't have anything else to do and they've still got 2 or 3 hours before they're going to sleep. So, they'll pull out their mobile devices with their friends and start surfing around for where they're going to live next year. So having it fully operational on your handheld devices and your pads, and something that you can do at any time of the day or night is very important.
2 hours. It's 2 o'clock. They got 2 more hours before they're going to bed. Brent,
that's
thanks
right.
for joining us today. We appreciate you being on the show.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
And thanks for listening out there across the country or watching on YouTube or the show website. Be sure and join us next week. We're going to talk about the single-tenant net lease investment market, some changes going on there with FASB and rising interest rates. Hear all about it next week. Until next week, be sure you always lead, learn, and laugh, and join us for the Commercial Real Estate Show. Hey there, thanks for checking out the Commercial Real Estate Show. Don't miss a video of special interest to you. Be sure to subscribe below. And if you appreciate the videos, be sure and thank our sponsors. There's a link to more information about them in the description. For more videos, podcasts, and articles, check out creshow.com.